Well, okay, this is Sunday. It is about 6:30 in the morning. I've been up since 4. My breakfast at the hotel doesn't start until 7:30. And while they do have coffee available all night, and I've already been down and drank a cup, I did find a coffee shop open near here that I'm going to try to walk to. Well, actually, I am walking to. I guess there's no trying about it. And see if I can't get a little more. It's about 42, 43 degrees here this morning. I've been very, very fortunate all week not to have any rain. 0. I was expecting rain every day. But let's go get this coffee. I just absolutely love these things. I'd buy one of these in a heartbeat. Well, that really hit the spot. So I've only got about a 5-minute walk back to the hotel, and I've still got 45 minutes before breakfast. So I'm going to wander a little. One of the decisions that I made is, after going into the Duomo Cathedral, the building that stands right in front of it is the baptistry of St. John, and I made a conscious decision not to go in there. And the reason for that is I know that they are doing massive restoration in there, and the mural that is the focal point of the entire building is covered up. And I didn't see any reason in paying money to go in and getting pictures of a tarp. But one of the things I have not shown you yet are the gates here to the baptistry of St. John. Now, these are replicas. They're not the real original gates. Those are in a museum somewhere. And I believe that it was Michelangelo that called these the gates to heaven. I think that's right. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And even though these are just replicas, you still can't get to them. These gates here are here all the time. This is one of the reasons why when you're on a trip, you want to go out early in the morning, at least once. I mean, it's cold out here, no big deal. But I mean, look, there are no people here, and you can take pictures that you can't take in the middle of the day. All right, my pre-breakfast is over. My main breakfast is over. I checked out of the hotel, and I am on my 15-minute walk to the train station to get this day started. So it turns out that my train ticket from Florence to Rome doesn't go from Florence to Rome. The last leg of the trip has to be taken by bus. This trip just gets funner and funner, doesn't it? I love adventures. All right, after a monumental trip that started at 9 o'clock this morning, It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm finally here at my hotel. But let me show you where I am at. This is the entrance to the Vatican Museums, and that big tall door right there is where I have to be at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, actually 5:45. All right, I've made it to my room, and this is a little terrace area outside the room. I'm staying at the T-Mark Hotel Vaticano, which is, let me show you where I'm at, right across the street from the entrance to the Vatican Museum. So that's where I have to be at 5:45 in the morning. And then this, of course, is parts of the Vatican Museum from the backside. I just love these trees. Absolutely love these trees. So it is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Whoop, I'm going to get my finger out of the camera here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I started this journey at 9 o'clock this morning. I got on the train. My train ticket says Station Novella in Florence to Termini Station in Rome. And I got on the train, and as I was looking at the last stop, it wasn't Rome. And I was a little confused, but I knew I had the right ticket. I knew I was on the right train. I just wasn't sure what the heck was going on. And when I got to Orte, O-R-T-E, I think it is. I got to Orte. They told us that we all had to get off the train and go catch a bus. So for the last hour, I took a bus. And then when I finally got to the train station, I just called an Uber. I tried to hail down a taxi. They wanted cash. I've already spent most of my cash. I didn't have it for a taxi ride. So I called an Uber and got here, like at 2:05. So yeah, 5 hours. But I'm gonna go out and get some lunch, and then I'm gonna show you around a little bit around the area of the Vatican Museums. Well, it's Sunday afternoon, which means that there are just a ton of places around here that are closed. They might open up later, but they're closed during the day because all the shops downtown are pretty much closed. So I've just found a little hole-in-the-wall place here down the street from my hotel. Try a little cacao e pepe and a Campari Spritz. So I'm starving. All right, we have made it to St. Peter's Square. We're gonna end the video here today. Maybe this will be a little shorter than some other videos we've made. But I'll kind of show you around what's here. If you've never been here, if you don't know much about it, I'll try to explain a couple of things that I do know and things that I don't know. We'll just maybe pretend that I know. One of the things to remember is that the Vatican City is pretty big. And where I am staying over by the entrance to the museum is a long walk from here. But this is, see if I can pull my sunglasses down just a little bit. This is St. Peter's Square. I'm going to walk in here just shortly. With any luck, this time around, I won't be almost arrested. Fingers crossed. There are two curved walls reaching out from the center of St. Peter's. I'm going to try to be careful because the sun is right over here and I don't want it to blind you. These curved walls were designed by an architect by the name of Bernini. If you do any research at all for Rome, you will find his name all over the place. Between both sides, there are a total of 140 statues. They were actually completed after Bernini's death by his students. And they represent saints, famous people, the apostles, and others all the way around. I have no idea which one's which. But one of the main, let's turn this around here.
One of the main design functions of this curve is that there are 4 rows of columns front to back. And from the back toward the front, each column gets just a little narrower. So the distance between them, between the back 2 columns, and as they get closer around the curve, the front 2 columns, that space between them is exactly the same. So there are spots that you can stand here, and I'm not going to go try to find one right now, but there are spots that you can stand here. When you look all around that curve, all you see is 1 row of columns. You don't see any of the ones in the back. It's just an amazing architectural design. The obelisk here was originally from Egypt. It was brought to Rome by the Emperor Caligula, and it's had a few additions to it since it was brought, and it's been moved here from its original location. There is, if I can ever get up there, there is, I believe, a cross all the way at the top, but the main part of the obelisk was brought here from Egypt. And I don't remember exactly where it stood before, but I believe that this obelisk was at the location where Peter was martyred. And then it was, I don't know, around 1580 or so, they actually brought it here, put it in part of St. Peter's Square. Now you can see over here behind these wooden barricades is the line to get into St. Peter's. You actually go through the gates there, and then you will follow along the side of this building and up to the top to enter here. In addition, this building right here, if I come over from St. Peter's and I move over, this building right here has an apartment in it where the Pope typically comes out to speak to the crowds on Wednesdays. I want to say it's this third window over, but I could be wrong. If you're Catholic and have been here when that happened, let me know in the comments. The year that I was here and happened to see Pope Francis, it was just right after the lifting of travel restrictions for COVID, and they were actually having his audience inside the church on Wednesday, so a lot of the church was closed for him, which it's really, really big. You hardly noticed it. Now, I'm not going to go in St. Peter's today. I may go in tomorrow after my tour of the Vatican museums. I haven't decided yet, but it is the largest Christian church in the world. And if you've ever been inside, you can attest to the fact that that is indeed the truth. Now, you'll see this fountain over here, and if you follow around through the obelisk, you will see another fountain over here. They are matching fountains. One of them was the original, was designed by Bernini, and then another sculptor came in later and put the second one up to sort of give balance to the square. Now, I don't know if I will be back over here for sunrise. The only time I would have to come over here would be Tuesday morning. But just in case, I do have some pictures I took a few years ago, not with my phone, but I have a few pictures. And if I can remember, I'll try to download those and put those in the video here as we close this out. To kind of let you see some of the pictures I had around St. Peter's Basilica. This is an awesome place to be. And I think I read somewhere that this will hold about 300,000 people. It's not a small area. So that's it for today. I'm gonna head home before it gets too dark. I'm gonna head back to the hotel before it gets too dark. And we'll see you again tomorrow.